He was in on Zoom, I
Yeah.
saw her there, but she's not there now.
She's trying to get in on her phone.
Okay, we'll come back. Mr. Lucero,
Here,
Ms. Cordova,
Here.
Mr. Robinson. Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Bowen,
here,
and Mr. Miller is absent. Ms. Parker,
Can you hear me? Nope. Okay, hold on.
No, but she was trying to get in on her cell phone, so she might have some issues.
yeah.
Your meeting ID followed by pound.
Yeah, you have a-
We have a,
Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just press pound to continue. Please enter the meeting password followed by pound. You are in the meeting now. There are 3 participants in the meeting. You have been added to the waiting room.
Hello?
I text her, sir. You text her, sir.
No, but she's on. She should be on now. Miss Parker, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
I text her. Are you on mute? Anyway, let's carry on. We have a quorum. Don't we?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, she'll join us or get off mute or something here. Ms. Cordova's gonna lead us in the invitation, then I'll lead us in the pledges. Veronica, thank you.
Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, and we ask that you be at the center of our meeting tonight. We ask that you place your hand on all of our citizens, our staff, and this council. We ask that you give us guidance so that when we are making decisions, we are doing them, that the decisions that are pleasing to your name. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of Minnesota, with the symbol of perfect friendships among the United States. And ask your questions. It's a back. It's a strategy.
Oscar.
Good survey. We don't have respect.
Third, will be sure Mr. Robinson is present.
Yes.
Sorry, you're fine. All right, the next item is the minutes of the previous meeting that was held May 23rd, 2023. Minutes are in your packet. Any corrections or additions to those minutes? Otherwise, I would entertain action to approve the minutes, please.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion to approve by Mr. Lucero, second by Mr. Bowen. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay. Next item is the proclamation. We have some presentations. First one is a proclamation, and I'll read that proclamation. It reads, whereas PFC Thomas Vernon Long was a World War II soldier in the 200th Coast Artillery Regiment and a native of Taos, New Mexico. And whereas he was among the surviving American forces in Bataan who fell to Japanese forces on April 9th, 1942, after the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. And whereas PFC Long endured a 65-mile Bataan death march as a prisoner of war, experienced extreme heat, dehydration, torture, starvation, and cruelty. And whereas records show that PFC Long died of malaria on August 28, 1942, and was buried in an X-marked grave. However, the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency began a project to identify remains utilizing modern-day DNA that identified. And whereas PFC Thomas Vernon Long has been returned to his hometown of Portales, New Mexico after 81 years, And whereas thousands of US soldiers are still unidentified or missing. Therefore, may we never forget or rest until every one of them has been accounted for and honored for the sacrifice they paid for the freedom of our nation. Now therefore, I, Ronald L. Jackson, the mayor of the city of Portales, New Mexico, do hereby recognize that the remains of PFC Thomas Vernon Long were laid to rest on June 8th, 2023 at the Portales Cemetery. That's the, and I know my ceremony was held out there at the cemetery and was well received, and I wasn't able to go. Wasn't some of his family here?
Yes,
You don't-
I believe his sister was present at the burial.
Nobody in the family here represented.
No, I don't think so.
That proclamation will be at the city hall. And the next item is the F-111 donation presentation. Sarah?
Good evening, Council Mayor. With the help of RCCDC and the Chamber, they were able to raise a total of $28,830 in donations for the F-111 restoration. And as of last night, the restoration was complete. I just want to read a couple of the letters and then kind of go over who donated what, because we received from Alabama to New York, North Carolina, a lot of amazing donations. First letter was sent to Miss Jody by John Book. My name is John Book. We talked on the phone Friday about my starting a fundraiser for the painting and restoration of display aircraft General Dynamics F-111F 70-2364. I was quoted a cost estimate of $28,000 by Portales City Manager Sarah Austin. I am formally requesting that RCCDC act as the fiscal agent for the project. All funds would be privately raised and would involve no cost to your organization. I will be publicizing this fundraiser on various F-111 Facebook pages, requesting checks be made out to your agency and clearly marked for the F-111 project. If possible, I would like to get periodic updates on the funds that have come in so I can give updates on the public on the progress. My history with this aircraft goes back to 1974. I'm a retired USAF aircraft maintainer, and this aircraft was assigned to my outfit at Mount Home Air Force Base, Idaho. It was stationed at Mount Home from 1971 to 1977. It was then reassigned to our AF station Lakenheath, UK from 1977 to the early 1990s. It was then returned seaside to Cannon Air Force Base and became a display aircraft at Portales circa 1996. I have enclosed a picture of the aircraft in its original paint scheme taken at Mount Home in the early 1970s. Your help, the help of RCCDC and various members in this matter would greatly be appreciated. And he did send an aircraft picture of, it was camouflage before, but for the restoration, it needed to be painted the color that it is today. Jody received another letter. Please find the check from the Portales Lions Club for $1,000. This donation is to help the repainting of the F-111 jet on static display on US 70. The Portales Lion Club appreciates all the projects that you and RCCDC does for the city of Portales. Signed by Stephen Connolly. Another letter was, as a career F-111 USO, I have special place in my heart for that plane. Our last tour at Cannon Air Force Base was January 1994 to December 1996. And we lived in the base housing in Portales. We were there to see F-111 dedicated, and I'm very glad you are trying to keep it looking good. Here's a little help for your efforts. Sincerely, Dean S. Mills, Lieutenant Colonel, retired. Here's hoping you reach your goal. Maybe someday I will be able to visit it before it's due. Another paint job by Daryl Falk. Roosevelt County Community Development Corporation, please accept my donation of $100 towards restoration F-111. Portales, New Mexico. Sincerely, Richard C. Kopp Jr., CMSGT USAF Air Force retired. Please accept our donation. That was another one for Mr. Kopp for the F-111 restoration. And then we have an donation for the F-111 by Ann and Richard Stanley in honor of 20th AMS. I'm having a hard time reading that first name. The second name would be James Bodley, Steve Nisley, Rich Stanley, and Ann Stanley. And the last one was, thank you for taking care of 70-2364. I flew the F-111 from 1979 to 1988, Buck Buchanan. And then I'll go over the donors. Portales Lion Club from New Mexico donated $1,000. Buck Buchanan donated $100 from Alabama. Donald Elder, $40. JP Stone, $1,000 from New Mexico. American Legion, $1,000 from Clovis, American Post 25. John Larnd, Idaho, for $50. Shelby Usry, $20 from New Mexico. Richard Kopp, $125. Michael Kaplan, Texas, $30. Richard Kopp again from Utah, $100. John Book, $200 from New Mexico. Dean Mills, $100 from Colorado. Ken Oswald, $200 from New Mexico. Ernest Gillern, $100 from California. Dale Movius, $100 from New Mexico. David Jungbauer, $200 from Florida. Daryl Falk, $111 from New York. Richard Stanley, $100 from North Carolina. Kenneth Wessinger, $20 from Virginia. G. Fullington, $100 from Nevada. David Hargett, $30 from Kansas. Wayne Roberts, $50 from Minnesota. Gary Borman, $40 from Arizona. Lee Jewett, $40 from Georgia. Harry Thompson, $100, location unknown. Robert Robinson, $200, location unknown, and then Singleton Schreiber with $23,674 from Clovis, New Mexico. And that is our donors for the F-111, and it is looking amazing if you haven't got to see it yet.
Great. No, that's great. And it's interesting that, some of the letters, and especially the one that flew it and then
Yeah.
worked on the same one that's here. So,
Yes.
any other comments on that? That's great. We have representation here from Singleton Schreiber, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Folks, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Mr. Book is here as well.
What? Stand up.
And just so you know, he is the one that got this ball rolling originally, so thank you for your efforts and everybody that participated.
Jody, we'll give Jody a hand.
Yes.
There, stand up, Jody. Good job sticking with it. That's
Yes.
good.
And keeping great records too. It was very easy to follow through with the records.
The handwritten notes are the ones that are interesting.
They're
The
meaningful.
one donation of the 111 for what? for the-
Right. That was awesome.
Anyway, proud of everybody for doing that. That's great. Next item is a 5-year service pin for Jarvis Hall.
Yep.
Are you in the house, Jarvis? Jarvis, this letter reads, in recognition of faithful service that you have rendered the city of Portales is pleased to present you with a 5-year service award pin. The skill, knowledge, and judgment that comes from many years of experience is invaluable, as well as being a testimony to the devotion of duty. On behalf of the city of Portales, its administration, your fellow employees, we are pleased to present this award to you and congratulate you on your accomplishments. It's signed by Sarah Austin and Chief Williams. And there's your pen, man. There's your- Good job.
Thank you.
Action items. First one is a coming for ordinance number 764, an ordinance enacting the date of the municipal election coincide with the regular elections on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November of odd number years. Item A is action to enter into a public hearing.
Motion to enter into public hearing.
Second. Motion by Mr. Heflin, a second by Mr. Robinson, all in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, we are in a public meeting, and I would take anybody that wants to speak on behalf of the ordinance.
Mayor, we did receive a bunch of letters, same letters for everybody, from Maggie Toulouse Oliver's office. Talking about the local regular election will take place in this November, and I strongly encourage you to consider the benefits of opting into the regular local election. For municipalities that opt into the RLE by June 30th, those municipalities will have their election costs covered by the state, while municipalities that choose not to opt in will be responsible for paying the full cost of running their elections. The RLE provides an important uniformity for local elections through the state, in addition to providing convenience for voters that has greatly increased voter participation in these elections since it was implemented in 2021. And they also attached the sample ordinance, but our attorney was able to drop one before we even received these letters. We got them as of today. Yeah, we got them as of today. So they do have a draft ordinance in there, but I believe that our attorneys did a little bit. I liked the way his came out, came a little bit more detailed. And if you guys want to copy this letter, we
And I
can.
think we had some pretty good discussion of this last time. Does anybody have any questions or concerns on it? Or any other discussion from anyone in the audience about the ordinance? So what it will do is change our elections from March until November. We have a group that's coming up in 2025, right?
24.
24.
Yeah.
That would declare in August of 2023 this year.
Yes,
And that election will be held in November. And that office would start January 1st of 2024
yes,
instead of March of 2020.
Yeah.
So it's cutting everybody's back out. And then the next group of 4, which would include the mayor and the municipal judge, would be the next round.
right. And then the county would be the one handling all of the elections. It will no longer be with the city.
And the one thing that I think that is true about it is that we will have a better turnout. I think we'll have a better turnout in November than we would for just the municipal election. And, hopefully we'll get some more participation. One of the things that we've noticed the last few years is that we have, we don't have too many folks that want to throw their hat through. So, anyway. Any other comments for or against the action?
Mayor, I move to close the public hearing.
Motion to close by Mr. Lucero, second by Mr. Eflin. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Now would entertain action on ordinance 764.
Move to approve ordinance 764.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Cordova, second by Mr. Lopez. All in favor, state.
Roll call.
Roll call. Carla?
Yes, sir. Mr. Heflin,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes, can you hear me?
Mr. Lucero,
Yes.
Ms. Cordova,
Yes,
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Bowen,
Yes.
Okay, good job. I texted her. I never got a reply from Diane either. Like, she's on, looks like. but
Oh, she's typing.
she typed.
She's typing.
she asked if we could hear her, but Ashley's doing a good job of responding.
Oh, okay. Who's got her?
Ashley.
Good job.
Well, she did respond.
Yeah,
Tell her no.
in the chat.
All right, next item is a public hearing for ordinance 765, an ordinance enacting the Portales automated speed enforcement system to monitor the speed of travel and enforce the speed limit. Speed enforcement cameras. First part is action to enter into a public hearing of ordinance 765.
Motion to move into public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Cordova, second by Mr. Lopez. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, we are in a public hearing to for any comments about the ordinance. And of course, this is the ordinance that we've talked about for a number of times. We have speed cameras set up. Chief, you want to go over it right quick? Or make some comments in favor?
Yes, sir. For those who don't know, we started looking into this last
At the
August.
municipal league conference.
Right. So it was last August at the municipal league conference. Ms. Austin came in touch with the vendors from Novoa Global. They had systems already in Albuquerque, and when we started looking into it, we saw that this was a reasonable cost-effective way to try to slow people down in town. The benefits of it are, it's there all the time. It does away with any profiling or bias on it because it's pictures of the rear of the vehicle, catching the license plate, so there's no discrimination or even on the other end of it, preferential treatment towards people because all you see is a vehicle and license plate and it's all recorded on the camera. The system can be audited for verification of that. It has to be paid for out of revenue from fines received, so it comes down to a zero cost to the city. Because the state statute states that it has to work that way. So it's going to allow us to, if we go with this, if we can go with this right here on Abilene, it'll allow us to put in school zone lights on this school zone as part of this program, so it won't cost us anything to add those. So it's, I mean, all in all, I think it's a great opportunity for us to try to slow people down through town, especially as they come through the 70 corridor. If we put them on the one ways around the square where it's almost impossible to try to run traffic down there anyway. So I think it's a great opportunity
Do
for
you think a good place to put them would be where where like the flashing signs are for crosswalks and stuff?
right. We could put them in,
Before that, maybe.
we can put them I think if we put them anywhere along the ways through town, it would be.
Kind of our downtown, not coming right here, it's nice and great, but somewhere will slow people down coming into that downtown area, which we had the natural slowdown when we had the homes in the road. But when the state highway department decided to take those out for us.
Right.
Fix our drainage issue.
Yeah. Right. And then any revenue that it does, yeah, and then any revenue that it does bring in, we can use to upgrade existing school zone lights. We can put in the flashing lights with the radar systems on them. We could explore trying to get the DOT to allow us to put in maybe the lights for crosswalks. That would be beneficial at certain locations down there along that.
Sure.
I mean,
On the Abilene, when you go over that again, please, I was kind of confused with what you were saying.
right here on Abilene in this school zone, it's one of our longest stretches of school zone and it doesn't have lights. It just has the signs with the hours posted. And I mean, we can spend every day that during school zone there and stop.
From the tennis
From
court.
the tennis court back to
Right here, right to here.
right to here.
Right, but because these camera systems require power, they will put in the systems as part of that, and we'll get that. The cost will come out of the fines to pay for it, so. We'll get that right
Other
away.
reason I asked that question, Chief, is, and Mayor, I'm sorry, no, but is several folks on Abilene have been complaining about the speeding in Abilene. The wheelies and the turnarounds and racetrack, and I was wondering, is any kind of we just mean that you guys are gonna not patrol this, you wanna use camera, because those people are speeding seemingly after school.
No, sir, it just means that it'll be monitored all the time.
Okay.
We'll still be able to patrol when we can, but then there's days like today where these guys have been running around nonstop. Calls are getting backed up. Because, when we have they were working another big crash at Kilgore and 70 again, which tied up, how many people were over there working it with you guys? 6, all 4? So that ties up 4 officers for over an hour. So, things like this, it allows us to have it there, and then it's got to come with the signs and the flashing lights saying this is a photo enforcement area. They'll pay for signage on the way into town. Our biggest thing is we just need people to slow down to be safer. I mean, especially downtown in the square area and things like that where it's congested.
Chief, we've had a couple other concerns that I've had from other people and I tend to agree on enforcement of this thing. And one of the questions that we being brought up is that we take a picture of that license plate and bill whoever the registered owner is, even though that registered owner may not be the driver.
It's very similar to our existing code enforcement ordinance, where if a landlord owns a property and his or her tenants are not taking care of it, we're gonna send that notice to the property owner, not the resident. Or if you're going through and you hit a toll booth and you go through, they send that bill to the registered owner, not to the driver who went through the toll. So it does allow for them to say, I wasn't driving, my car was stolen, I sold it. This is who was driving, things like that. So. I mean, just because the ordinance doesn't talk about due process in it, doesn't mean that it's not there. I mean, I can't think of a statute or any other law off the top of my head that spells out due process in it. It's implied with our federal laws. So.
This is probably a question for Sarah. One of our city vehicles gets a citation. Who's paying that?
The person that would be driving the city vehicle,
So how do we know they switch vehicles all the time?
we know who's driving them. They're assigned to people.
So the water department stay in the same vehicle?
Yep.
So, okay, so can I ask a follow-up question on that? So, say I'm driving the city vehicle and I come through, you're registered owner, city's registered owner, then you'll go and see who the log is to who's driving, and then they get that ticket.
Right.
Okay,
And we hope, I'd like to reiterate, we hope that our staff are not speeding.
right,
wanna
well,
throw
of
that-
course, but
But
we
it
just
happens.
don't want to make that perception that we're gonna just, it's a city vehicle, we're gonna let them off because
No.
it's a city vehicle.
It will definitely be a disciplinary action if they get caught speeding in that traffic.
And then there's going to be a total of 4 cameras?
Well, when we did the study, we identified the top 4
Four areas.
locations. One was here on Abilene. 70 in Kilgore, where we keep having tons of crashes, really. I mean, I say tons, I mean, for Albuquerque, it wouldn't be tons, but for here, it's. Well,
39, this will be 40 today.
Right.
In 3 years, 40 crashes in 3 years is a lot. We're trying to get, and I think Daniel's the one who had the idea of left turn signals from the base highway to Walmart and vice versa. And so we're trying to get traffic studies done so that way we can try to get those turn signals placed in there by the state.
and those are things that we have to pay for, right?
Yes, we do.
But we have to have DOT, so. Things like this can help fund those projects. Avenue C by the fire department and Brown Elementary, that's been a racetrack all along, anywhere on the one way through town, first or second. Chicago,
So it'll be 4 cameras?
we haven't decided how, that's to be determined.
In the contract. So we haven't even discussed the contract yet, other than looking at it and having it sent to legal. But the first process would be, before we go any further, we'd like to see if you're even interested in doing an ordinance for it. And then the next process will be the contract, and we'll talk about how many cameras you want.
And then the time, sorry, Mayor.
Right.
And then the time, so they say school zone, but we don't have to just do the school zone
Right.
hours. We can extend it past
Right, it can be,
8 to 5.
it'll be 24/7. Once they're
24/7.
up, they're
Okay.
running. It'll just adjust for school zone hours in those areas.
Oh, for the speed.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And the
And
hope
of course,
is-
the company likes the school zones because there's existing power,
Oh, yeah.
so it doesn't have to get put in.
And the hope is that if we can get traffic to start slowing down in those areas by knowing those cameras are, we can eventually move them. And try to get across the city to get everybody to slow down.
Thank you.
That was the answer I was trying to see.
Yes, I thought so.
Earlier, is it 24/7?
Yes.
That's on Abilene, it can be 24/7.
Yeah.
Because those guys are really the young guys. I was young too one day, but one of those days, but they like to, let's say Speedway. So I'm glad it's 24/7. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
I just want to make a comment. I think during one of your first presentations, you had mentioned that this is a civil thing,
Yes,
but it doesn't go against your driving record.
no, sir.
The other thing is, I think Oscar on Abilene, most of them are complaining about the strip between the university and 18.
Yeah, well, that's right, right about that. But I've been getting comments from people who live on Abilene directly to me.
5 families that did. And they'll be glad to hear this. And it's not so much of it being the racetrack as it is, we've got several that have got loud exhaust and they.
Yes.
And they rev them up and then rack them off.
That wide street.
Right, that wide street. And I just happened to be right across from Steve's office the other day. And a pickup and a Charger left out from the light. And I guarantee you, they were running 70 by the time they went by Steve's office.
That's too bad.
Well, some of the speeds we recorded in town were in the eighties.
Yeah.
The
gray Chargers. Yeah.
This was about 30 before and after.
Right.
That's great. Any other comments from?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I just moved here in October. So I'm not really familiar with all the rules and stuff that goes on there. But I moved into B Avenue over here. And I gotta tell you, I sit out on the porch a lot, my watch goes on. And cars come up and down that road 60 miles an hour all the time. What's bad is I sit out there at 3 o'clock. And a school bus comes down there 45 miles an hour. And then at about 3:15, it comes back with a load of school kids. Do we really need this for our kids?
Good question. Good comment.
I mean, what, you have a lot of good suggestions. You said about power and the signs.
Right.
Solar power.
I don't, we'd have to talk to the company
I
that we're
mean,
looking at for that.
I've seen them.
Right.
They're
We can
all-
get mobile ones too that you put in vehicles. I mean, our biggest thing is if we don't get the ordinance, it's not worth exploring what the company can do because we can't go with it.
Just like you said, you have money to do other things, right?
That's right.
Well, these side streets that are paratroopers coming through, how about we put some speed bumps on them? That'll slow them down. And this is a major concern. I mean, I haven't been here that long and I can tell that these paratroopers are used to fly through this town. And you're talking about fixing 70 and everything coming in. But we're missing a whole bunch.
Agreed.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a company that's in business and they're looking for the highest volumes because
Because I mean.
I'm not interested in the revenue. I'm interested in slowing people down. So we can quit working as many crashes, so we can quit getting people hurt. But the company is gonna want to justify putting it in locations based on violation volume. Because they gotta pay for the systems, they gotta make their money.
Actually, one of the things that I envision on it is that if we've got these cameras in these particular places. Then some of our officers can patrol more of the residential areas and catch some of those, even if it is a bus driver. I have to agree with you, the buses drive as fast as some of the residents. can do.
Right.
I think it's a-
Whenever you did your first presentation, you guys had set up a test unit, a mobile unit. Would it be possible to keep a mobile unit? And then just move it around to random places?
They'll send it to me and we'll set it up and then we send it back to them. That's not a
Something-
problem.
If we move forward with it, that's something we can talk about in the contract.
Well, I didn't know, you said that most of these have to be posted with signage.
Mhm.
That they have cameras set up.
Yes.
So doing a mobile unit, would it? I mean, would you
The
just
mobile
have to
unit
put temporary
was-
signs or-
That was for a study. All it did was record speeds, didn't take pictures or anything else. So it recorded speeds and dates and times. So it was for the data. It didn't catch anything else that was going on with it.
But would it be a deterrent? Would you?
It sure could be.
think It would act as a deterrent.
I mean, it
in
might.
Residential areas, maybe?
Yes, especially if they're not known where they're
I
at.
mean, something we need to look at. I know, we used to have the little portable speed limit thing that would be out and I haven't seen that in years, whether it doesn't work anymore or whatever. If it died or we haven't replaced it, but.
Yeah, it's one of them's completely dead and the other one, it's half the time it doesn't work very long. We have to leave it somewhere we can keep it plugged in.
But some of those type things that we need to probably address, budgetary wise or whatever to get something else going.
And that's what, if we go with this, those are things that we can use the. Whatever revenue, however long it takes to build it up, enough to get these things. Whether it's
But
put,
we have,
just,
we have placed some of those speed bumps that are found in different residential areas and it's in some parts of town. I mean, it slows you down, that's for sure.
Well, I gotta say, there's a lot of kids that play there, out on the street, in the yards. And them cars just drag down that street all the time.
All right, anything else?
Yeah, two
Okay.
What court is holding the hearing? Is it municipal or magistrate?
for now, it'd be municipal.
Is the delivery for the citation, is it certified or just regular mail?
We would probably be able to specify that as certified in the contract, I'm sure.
Because I would just, like you say, if I don't get the ticket, and I don't know, had one,
Right.
I don't pay it, it goes to collections.
Well, I don't think they do it. It's 2 or 3 times in. They have to, I don't know, the contract when I was looking at it said a reasonable effort.
Yeah.
So
So specifying that would make.
we
it
can
reasonable.
clarify those things. That-
Yes.
That's the negotiation of a contract. So if you wanted 5 times, then we'd say 5 times. So,
I have a real world example. In Albuquerque, they have these systems. My daughter lives in Albuquerque. I was driving my car and did 57 in a 40 on Curtis Avenue. So I got the ticket, gave it to my daughter, she paid it, no problem. But yeah, it was pretty shocking to her. Once we had the picture, the license, everything you described in there, and a link if you want to even watch the video of her zipping through at a 57 or a 40. So it worked. She doesn't speed during in that section anymore.
yeah, and that was one of the documents I provided to you guys before was the second study in Albuquerque at I can't remember which location they had it in, but they were showing the drops in speeds based on the system.
It works.
And then one of the other things we put in the ordinance is that they could opt for community service instead of paying the fine.
Mhm.
So it was, I believe it was $25 an hour to cover their fine. So 4 hours of helping make Portales more beautiful. So
Any other comments? Entertain action to close the public hearing. So
Second,
motion by Mr. Robinson, second by Mr. Over to close the public hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Close same sign. Any action on ordinance number 765, please.
Move to approve ordinance number 765.
Second. Motion to approve by Mr. Lucero, a second by Mr. Robinson. Carter, would you read the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Heflin,
Yes.
Ms. Parker.
Yes. Can you
Mr.
hear me?
Lucero,
Yes.
Ms. Cordova,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Nay.
Mr. Bowen,
Nay.
Motion carries 4-2. Is that right, Carla?
yes, sir.
Okay, next item is action discussion regarding Singleton Trevor. The attorney that generously donated, but we'll talk about a PFAS negotiation, contract negotiation. Sarah?
This would be, we actually have them here today to answer any questions you might have regarding the contracts.
Yes, sir. How are you? Thanks for being here. Thanks again for the donation. It's fantastic. Here you are. Anyway, just give us a rundown again, if you would, on what we're.
Yes, sir. So Portales, just like other neighbors, Clovis, the Air Force Base has used firefighting foam for decades. Just like Camp Pendleton, Miramar in California, every installation across the United States. There's probably 700 DoD installations. And uniquely enough, the groundwater situation here in eastern New Mexico creates a real issue for Portales, Clovis, Texaco. In that, you know, once the PFAS or the AFF gets into the water, and then the PFAS chemical that was created by these manufacturers to mill specifications decades ago, it essentially contaminates the entire system. Now, the problem I think that we all have, certainly in eastern New Mexico, as well as in other places across the United States, actually everywhere in the United States, is that when it comes to groundwater, you don't necessarily know where it's going. And based on what our hydrologists and geologists have looked at in eastern New Mexico, the plume is moving in this direction. Now, that creates a real problem, not just for public health, but also for the city and having to clean it up, because once EPA changes the rules from 70 parts per trillion to 4 parts per trillion, essentially is like a Coke can of contamination in the entirety of Lake Michigan. That's going to create increase your water quality costs exponentially. So, you know, our view has been, you know, try to get as many municipalities interested as possible in this area to working together. And what's good is you all have the same source of contamination. That's good and bad, right? I mean, no one wants it, but everybody knows where it's coming from. So you work in economies of scale. All the experts that work on a case like this know where it's coming from. We're able to do testing to determine where it is and where it's going, hence the access agreement that provided to you all. And, you know, the bigger issue for the council is how can you really afford to miss out on an opportunity? Essentially, the service we're providing is at no cost up front to the council. You all have read the retainer agreement. The contingency fee that we charge is below any other firm that does this type of work. And our firm is uniquely situated to assist the municipalities in this region, as well as across the United States, given, you know, what our interests are. You know, we're very big on environmental protection, very big on helping smaller communities. Can't necessarily get the interest of state agencies or the federal government. You know, I sat through the virtual town hall that the Air Force put on and asked a few questions, because all I want to know is, do you know where the plume is? I couldn't get a straight answer. You know, having been in the military for over 30 years, it was really disappointing. You know, you expect more from them, but you know, they hire a contractor, the contractor does what the contractor thinks is best, and it takes years. So what we're offering to do is to cut to the chase, test the water, test the wells, see where you're at. And even if the wells don't come back with a positive reading, at some point they might. So we would encourage you to get involved in the litigation now, because if you look at our experts that explain this, if you look at the hydrology and you look at how the plume is moving down gradient and the way the Air Force is pumping and treating the water, at some point it's going to impact Texaco, Clovis, and Portales. So what we're offering is an opportunity for you all to get the testing, figure out if there is a problem, and then if there's no immediate problem, figure out, is it worth it? You know, is it worth it to get involved in the litigation now, because there could be a problem in the future? I'm happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
Mayor, this is to open contract negotiations between you and Sarah with the law firm, is that correct? It's not necessarily decide the contract now, just to open up negotiations for it?
No, it's to open up the negotiations. So if you want to move forward with it, so that way we can send it to legal for review and get back with this law firm.
Okay.
And there is, the contract is in here for you to review as well as the access agreement, which is pretty standard.
Our attorneys look it over yet, or we're gonna give you authorization to go. Final this thing. Okay. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We need to take action on it, have a motion.
Yes.
So the motion would be for the contract negotiations. That's the way it reads, Sarah, on the regarding Singleton LLP and P contract negotiation.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion that we approve the contract negotiation between the city of Portales and Singleton and Shrub. Second.
Motion by Mr. Bowen, a second by Mr. Lopez. All in favor, stick by saying aye.
Aye.
All in favor, this time. Number 5 is a permission to release, no, I'm sorry, number, Jim.
Yeah.
I skipped over Jim.
I want to let it go by.
The approval of the council to appoint city councilor Jim Lucero as board member for the Eastern New Mexico Water Utility Authority to serve a 2-year term. And in your packet is the schedule of the members of the Eastern New Mexico Rural Water Authority Board. And Jim represents us, I represent us, and you see there what our terms are. They're 2-year terms. Mexico has 1 seat, Clovis has 3 seats as the larger contributing member. Side note, I went over to the lake this weekend and it was so
It is
Is
not-
it?
yeah, from all those rains, so that's nice. But anyway, Jim's been doing a wonderful job for us and representing Portales folks, so you can really rest assured that hopefully you'll approve him for serving another 2 years. So with that being said, I would entertain action to approve Jim as the representative.
Mr. Mayor, I would gladly approve, recommend that Jim continue to serve.
Motion by Mr. Robinson. Second by Mr. Heflin, all in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
Sign. You want to vote for yourself, man?
No, put it on.
Jim, you do a really good job. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Moving on. 5th item is permission to reduce a request for proposal RFP to enter into negotiation with banking services. Please represent Marilyn. You.
I am. Marilyn is on a much needed vacation this week. So, as you know, it's that time again that we have to do an RFP for banking services, and it's one of the requirements by the state so that we make it fair who we bank with. And so we would like to request permission to release an RFP and negotiate a contract for banking services for the city of Portales. Staff is seeking permission to negotiate with the highest ranked, most advantageous offer, and will bring a contract back to council for approval.
Were those 3-year contracts or 4-year contracts?
I think they're 4. I want to say 4.
The original one was 8.
Was it 8? Okay.
Mhm. That was the maximum we could contract back in 2015.
2015.
It was 8 years.
Is the maximum still the same?
The state has raised it to 10, but I'm getting clarification if banking services, if it has to be 4 or 10. I'm still verifying that, but it'll be in the final contract.
I'd entertain action on that RFP request, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Heflin, second by Mr. Bowman, all in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed, same sign. All right, item 6 is the recommendation approval for the infrastructure department. Ms. McVeigh. Going to represent resolution 22-23-46 participation in the road fund program administered. This is. Joe, I'll let you explain the rest of it.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Okay, so 46, so 22, resolution 22-23-46. Staff is requesting approval for this resolution. This is the MAP grant. We are planning, designing construction, reconstruction, pavement rehabilitation, construction management, drainage, and miscellaneous improvements for the intersection of Avenue O and 18th Street. The state share would be 75%, which is $33,052. The city of Portales would be a 25% share, and that is $11,017. The total estimated cost of the project is $44,069. And this is with NMDOT. You can stand for questions on this one.
I'm looking at, on page 2, it says the total project cost is 146,667. The difference, where are we at on the difference?
100,000.
I am not
102,000.
sure.
I don't know, is that our cost of 44,000? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's got different numbers at the top, and the first whereas it has the total cost of the project.
Things out of order.
44.
So the 44,069 is project cost, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the total project cost. I'm not sure where the 144 is coming from.
See on the.
This is for the design of, on,
44,000.
Okay.
44,000 is for design. If there are additional funds left over, they can be used to start the construction. We always include language for the construction so that our additional dollars, those can be used towards the construction of the project.
It's just trying to be preemptive. That way they can't say that we
I don't know,
haven't
and that's
said it.
fine, we just need to clarify that for council and your mayor that can't read the thing anyway, so.
Yeah, but I was thinking the project was gonna cost $44,000.
But the design and yeah, that's 44,000.
But it really isn't clear. I mean,
Where's the rest of the money coming? Where's the other 106 coming?
Hopefully grant.
What we have to do is apply in phases. This is the amount that we could afford, so we applied for design. DOT has granted that award, and then we'll need to go back on the next phase after we have the design cost double ready, so that we can complete the project.
So next year we'll reapply for said grant so we can do the construction part.
How long have we been working on 18th and O? Can I ask that? How long have we been working on that?
We've applied twice. We did not get funded last year. We did get funded this year
For this portion?
for that intersection. Yes, sir.
We'll do this part, we still may not get funding to complete the intersection.
Correct.
There are a multiplicity of sources that Joe and Steve and Sarah reach out to. I do believe that once we're shovel ready, we won't have problem getting funding for that portion of the project. It's getting the project
It's
to
the
shovel
design
ready,
part.
making sure that we have all of our clearances in place.
It's frustrating to me, but for people to understand how, that's what we have to go through trying to get a street repair. You know, it takes years to get one intersection approved. It takes the process. And the frustrating part for me as a mayor is that we've talked to our legislators about getting some of these rules changed, but they're just spinning their wheels too. So, you know, there's underlying things that happen that we don't have any control over. We have to go through this step to get to the next step. And then we have to apply for more money because it's not shovel ready. So, you know, I'll get off on that one.
It's all right, Mr. Mayor, you probably need to stay on that voice.
Can we, sorry, can we just clarify the numbers again? So 44 is what we're gonna have.
Okay,
As
so
for, as far as our share. The Department of Transportation, their share, no, the total
Yeah.
cost of the project is the 44.
yes,
The design. part.
DOT will be 33, ours will be 11, But the total project to get it all completed is gonna be the 146,
And
correct?
that's gonna
Okay.
be with the construction
And
and
then
everything.
everything.
But
Okay.
this portion that we're asking for the resolution
Is just for the design.
approval is just for the design
Okay.
for right now.
I just wanted to make sure I was on the right page.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So 102,000 would be left over to complete the project. Is that correct?
That's what we
Yes.
would have to apply for in the next round of funding.
Okay. I think we're up to speed.
Yes, thank you. I make a motion to approve resolution 2223-46.
Motion by Ms. Cordova to approve, a second by Mr. Robinson. Do we need to approve it? Roll call. With a roll call?
Yeah.
Resolution.
Mr.
Carter, would
Heflin?
you read the roll, please?
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry. Mr. Heflin?
Yes.
Mr. Lucero?
Yes.
Ms. Cordova?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Bowen?
Yes.
Ms. Parker?
Yes. Did you hear me? Still nothing. Ugh, I'm sorry.
No answer.
No. No answer? No.
Did we call the rest of the roll?
Oh, she's not in the meeting.
Are you done with the roll?
Yes.
Yes. And somehow she left the meeting, so.
All right, moving on to the next. Resolution 22-23-47. This is the same preparation that I'm up to, but I'll let you explain to us.
And that's, I'm still learning as well.
I'm not blaming you, Joe. You're doing a great job.
Oh, well, thank you. So this one is for a project development and design for pavement rehabilitation and improvements, reconstruction, drainage improvements, blading and shaping, construction management, and miscellaneous for the intersection of Kilgore and 18th Street to Jackson Avenue on 18th Street and the intersection of I and 18th Street for approximately 80 linear feet south on 18th Street. And the wording again is to make sure that we're able to do everything that we need to work-wise with legalities. So it's not questioned while we're working and we don't do anything on accident. So that's what the rehabilitation, reconstruction, that's what all of that means. The funding amount of this project phase total, and this is a phased project as well, is $177,997. And the state share of that is $133,000, $498. And the city of Portales is 25% at $44,499. And the staff is requesting approval for the resolution number 222347.
And the funding estimate on this particular project is anticipated to complete the construction. This will complete those two intersections.
My question is, it says approximately 80 linear feet south on 18th Street. 18th and Main Street.
That's the direction that they marked on the design.
Is it on Avenue I?
Yeah, it's the drawing
Towards
plans.
the Fun Center.
Mhm.
That's not
80 feet, 18 and I. South.
Yes.
Yes.
So. Then Jackson up to 18 and Kilgore.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I had them put that in there just because that street's named after. He lives on 18th. Yeah. That's right. Let's blame Miller. Don't read Facebook, y'all. Don't read Facebook. Any questions? This is through construction, so this is a little more exciting.
Yes.
I can make a motion to the fact that we
accept this.
Motion to approve by Mr. Robinson,
Second.
second by Mr. Bowen for resolution 22-23-47. Would you read the roll, please, Carla?
Yes, sir. Mr. Heflin,
Yes.
yes, Ms. Parker's typing, so Ms. Parker.
Yes.
Yes. Big letters. We're gonna go that route. Mr. Lucero,
Yes.
Ms. Cordova,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Bowen,
Yes.
Yes, sir. We have a firm.
yes, sir.
Good job. Thanks, Joe.
Thank
You
you.
all right? Where's Steven? You took the heat for
He's
Steven.
on vacation.
All right.
vacation.
Oh, how many people got on vacation?
A lot.
No wonder it's the beauty center.
Hello. That's not his department.
All right, next item is public input for which no action will be taken. Any matter not known about or which could not have reasonably been foreseen prior to the time of the posting of the agenda. This agenda item is for informational purposes only. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker, limited to 1 presentation per meeting. And no more than 6 speakers on each subject. Councilors will not reflect any comments or answer questions to avoid any violation of the open meeting. Third is to direct any questions or requests for information to the city manager in writing during regular business hours. Do you have anything from the public tonight? You want to say some things? Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing?
Life, family.
Out of order.
Joe Lentini, 909 South Avenue A. Number one, I'm having a lot of trouble with my water bill. For over 6 years, I've paid only between $90 and $95, $98 a month. 2 months ago, I got a bill for $173. They said we use 27,000 gallons of water between midnight and 6 a.m. when everybody's asleep. Something's wrong. I've had plumbers there, they can't find no leaks. Please do something about this, because the bill I got for last month, I paid today, they said $150. That's ridiculous. I've been paying between $90 and $98 for over 6 years. Please find out what's wrong. We need a dumpster in the back. When we had that windstorm, it blew the top off. I've been trying to get somebody there for like 5 months. Nobody comes. In the town or city of Portales, there are businesses that have no public restrooms. I'm born and raised in New York, as you could tell, and I lived 13 years in Florida. You can't open a business up if you don't have public bathrooms. Please take care of that. Last time I was here was before Thanksgiving. I asked for a sweeper to come down my block to do all those pebbles. 8 months later, 6 months later, whatever it is, no sweeper. As you know, New York has gotten stupider than all hell. They have machines that have crack pipes. Please do not let that happen here. Free crack pipes? You're telling somebody, hey, here's some free crack pipes, do drugs. Don't let that happen here. Do you have any plans on having low income housing? If you do, let me know. I need your help with this big time. Farmers Market has no lights inside the parking lot. Several times I almost ran over somebody. This weekend, it was a lady and a kid. I didn't see neither one of them. Please get them to fix those lights in the parking lot. I'm going to kill somebody. This has happened several times. You can't see nobody. Do we have any migrants in the city? Any people sleeping in the streets? If you do, please do something about those people. By the way, we lost channel KOB here. I was at a center today. Nobody has KOB and it's the only New Mexico station. I called them up, they said it's Xfinity. I called Xfinity, they say it's them. I went to Yucca, you're going to lose Yucca as a company, you know. They have no more cable. They're getting ready to leave. The traffic lines on First and Second over by Dom's garage, you can't see them. I'm always shifting back and forth. Also on Avenue D between, I think it's 18th and 16th, 16th and 18th going towards Farmers Market. You can't see the lines there.
Okay, your 3 minutes is up. You have much more?
No.
Okay.
Did you hear that a lot of states are now having kids 14 work and they're getting $15 an hour? Is that going to happen here? These kids got to go to school. I don't think it's right.
Thanks, James.
And happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Way to close. Up that clothing. Good. You want to? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. My name is Karen Holly. I live at 300 North Oak.
Okay.
I've noticed there are lots of dogs roaming the streets.
Okay.
I have a friend who lives on 15 and there was a little girl who got hit by a dog down there. And there's a lot of animals running loose. Is there a dog patrol or animal control in the city? My dog, I hope you know, is on a run. I feel that, I don't know if there's an ordinance that says that dogs have to be on a leash, on a run, or contained within the property. But I'd like y'all to look into it, because it scares me. I'd like to take my dog for a walk. We go up the Amazon, Roosevelt 4.5. And then down, back down, Hillbrook. I've had a neighbor's dog attack my dog twice. And that, I mean,
Yes, ma'am, we do have ordinances that require folks to
we're new
keep their
here.
dogs, sure, to keep their dogs leashed when they're out or to keep them in their yard.
Okay,
So, I mean, if they're running wild, if they're running loose,
There's
feel
a lot
feel
of-
free to call the police department. And they will put you in contact with
okay, great.
with the animal control.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
I'd like to comment on
Sure.
like I told you before, I just moved here. Those United.
Would you take your name, sir? I'm sorry.
Trent Banner.
Trent Banner.
I sit on my porch at 11:30, a couple nights ago. I counted 19 cats, different cats. You guys do the math. You guys are gonna have a serious problem here if you don't start addressing. I mean, you do the math. I mean, how much is a porch can you see? That's 19 cats.
Understood.
We have over here on D Avenue, there's a pack of 5 or 6 dogs that are just running wild all over.
Have you called the dog?
They've tried. Nobody calls back, nobody answers. You guys got a problem here. It's gonna become a serious problem. Something has to be done.
Okay.
I mean, I walk out my back door, I gotta kick 4 or 5 cats away so I can walk out. That's not right. So I was-
All he's got to say. Anybody else? That? Council? Nothing? Okay, next is, we're gonna go into an executive session, so I would entertain action to convene into an closed meeting to discuss matters as provided under the New Mexico statutes pertaining to an open meetings for attorney-client privilege, for threatened or pending litigation and purchase, acquisition, disposal of real property or water rights. Motion by Mr. Heflin,
Second.
second by Ms. Cordova, all in favor, state.
Roll call.
Roll call, Carla.
Yes, sir. Mr. Heflin,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
She's not gonna be in that meeting.
Mr. Lucero,
Yes.
Ms. Marquardt,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Bowen.
Yes.
She's not, yeah, but she's not gonna be in.
Okay, we're in a closed meeting. If we're ready to finish. We'll open the doors back in.
Did you get my message?
No, you need to get out there and take care of them.
It should be able to stop.
I'm sorry, but we need you.
Those are actionable items. You can't just take action in the meeting. You can, talk to the city manager, so we can't. Right. Definitely take,
Thank you so much.
And be careful.